Hey, good morning, guys. Today we're going to do a hard drive replacement for this Acer spin model. And the best way for you guys to follow my instructions is just to follow or just follow the white cursor. The model for this Acer spin is the SP513-52N-530R. It's pretty simple, not difficult disassembly for you to replace a hard drive. But you will need either an old credit card that you no longer use or some type of prying tool, or if you have a spudging tool also. But the best one for this here, if you because most people have extra cards, and old ones or just other things that are sitting around. Even one of your a special squeegee tool that you use for applying vinyl on cars, that would help too. It's very similar to a credit card, so it's very the same thing. So this is what the laptop looks like here. It's a full flip because it flips into a tablet. It's a pretty good laptop. But the customer wanted he ran out of storage and he wanted to put in a larger hard drive. So I will step you guys through, and if you follow the instructions, the best thing with you guys doing this with me is that you'll be able to see pretty, large pictures with most of the pics I'm seeing you, and they're very close up so that you have an easy understanding of how to do this step by step. What I noticed when you're watching videos of guys doing this, they don't even talk to you. They don't tell you what problems you're going to run into, because I will tell you all those things where it might be difficult to start it off here, or you can find a place where you can wedge in your first, spudging tool or your credit card to start off the whole process, because they don't do those things. A lot of these times when these guys do it, they pre-disassemble these systems just to make it easier for their tutorials. But with mine, I literally do step by step as I go, so that you guys will actually go through the same problems with me. If we do run into any problems with this, there is really no major issue. It's just except for the bottom panel that is really stiff, and it is kept in there very well. So, but I'll show you guys how to get to it. So, best thing to do is just to close the laptop, and the first step to do is close the laptop and then face the screen down on your table, and make sure that you're looking at the bottom end just like this. And and just to make note, all of the screws are not all of the same size, so you do need to remember the orientation of them, because the last thing you want to do is, I've actually had many people that they thought they could remember where all of the screws go, but they didn't. And then they end up putting a long screw of where a short screw is supposed to go. And guess what happens with that? You can actually crack the board, short the board, and a shitload of other problems. So just remember, but I will tell you guys here. So if you actually have your laptop in the same orientation as this, these screws here, the four on top, and then the middle left and the middle right, they're all of the same length. So remember that, right? It's just like an upside down C. So these one, two, three, four, five, six. So top four, and then the middle left and the middle right, those are all the same. So you can put that in a bunch. It's because all of the other six, they're all the same length too. They're just shorter screws and a smaller diameter, which will be these two in the middle and the four in the front. So once you remove the four in the front and the two in the middle, they're all the same length, same diameter. So you can put all those together. And it's the same with this. The top four, the middle left, middle right, they're all the same length, same thickness of diameter. So keep those in a bunch. And it's pretty simple. At least if you guys forget, just go back to my video on the timestamp, and then just go from there, so that you guys don't make a mistake. So just remember, don't assume that you think you know where the screws go, or if you're not 100% sure, just refer back to where we're talking about this, because the last thing you want to do is end up shorting a system. Because I think my customer here paid, I think was 11 or $1,200 Canadian for this. So American dollars, you guys pay a lot less, but you know what? In Canadian dollars, it's not really a cheap laptop. Especially for a small, I think this is what, an 11.3 inch or a 13 inch, which is the size of a MacBook Air. Okay, so once you remove the screws here, I want you to open it up just like this here. Keep the screen still down on the table, but open it up about 80 to 85 degrees, because this is the first beginning here we're going to be focused on. Because I tried putting my finger here. Normally I use my fingernail to open up these damn things. I can normally just run my fingernails from the bottom left up here all around to the bottom right, and just pop the whole panel out just with my fingernail. But with this, I tried here and I tried there, even the sides, and the only place that I was able to somewhat get my fingernail in there to prop my credit card in there, not a credit card, but my spudging card. It was actually in this section here. So I'm going to show you here on the top left. So remember, focus on this section here, and you'll have to use your left hand with your thumbnail, if you can, just push it down there. So the best thing to do is, if you look at this area here where the screen is, put your lap there, just stand up and just put your legs in front of it so that you can actually brace it. Because the last you don't want to do is just, you don't want to kind of pushing on this section here, then it slips and slides forward or drops or something. But if you brace it with your legs standing up, and then use your hands to your left hand to slightly pry it open like this here, and that will give you more than enough room to start inserting your card so that you can actually do it. Because once you get your card in there, the rest is very simple. you know um so if you look at it here, I was able to just to slip the card in there with my right hand, and then you just literally start the process running it from the top left to the top right. And here, and then this is the left hand side I'm showing you. Just keep running it down this here. Just keep running it down, and just be very careful with the USB, which I'll make note later. So just stop prying it to around right here where you hit the USB port. These are the USB 3.0 ports. Just don't go any deeper. Don't go any further down to the bottom, because I want to show you something which is really crucial. Because the last thing I want to do is just end up breaking your panel or breaking this structure here, because it's not made that strong. So just bring your card down to this point here and just stop right there, right before you hit the USB ports. Okay. So, and then what I want you to do next is, I want you to stand it up like this, like in an A-frame. Once you do it like that, a long version of the A-frame, not the short version where the screen and the top case is facing down. So the long way here. So what you're going to do here, if you hear, this is where we're focusing next. Okay. So this is what we're going to be doing here at the top end here. So this is a closer shot here at the top end. Slip in your card and just keep running it way to the back. Then once you run it way to the back, make sure that you wrap around to the back of the hinge to loosen up this clip here. Because if you don't, you just do that. Just make sure you do that. And then if you wrap it around there, it will easily open. You don't need to do this section here. Don't worry about that. That will easily pop on its own, because once you have this corner here on the right side of the hinge and the back cover removed with the fasteners, with the clips popped out, and you do the same with the other side, it will open up very easily. So don't worry about that. And now we're going back to the USB port. You remember I was talking about here? So originally here, I said here that you would just stop. My apologies here. I would just tell you guys just to stop right there. So this is to show you with a closer image. This is what it looks like here. So just go very, very slow, because sometimes it will slip. You don't need to put the card in that deep. It might slip on you, because it slipped on me a couple times, because I didn't want to go too deep and I didn't want to go fast, because I knew that I didn't want to bend this USB frame, or play around it, because right now you don't have the battery disconnected. So the last thing you want to do is, if people are using like a flat micro screwdriver to do this, please don't, because if you end up hitting that or slip into it, or even just hitting that USB area there, you can end up shorting your board. So make sure it's plastic. Don't use anything else. Just a credit card is probably the safest thing to use. And then just make sure you go very slowly and put your card right on top of the USB area here in the crack opening, and then just guide it through to the end. And then once you get to the end here, this is a different angle shot to show you there. You just run your card up like that. So look at my cursor here. Just run it up like that very slowly. Don't go fast, because if you go fast, you can end up like slipping, and the card goes in deep into the motherboard. So just go very slow and just take your time, and you will get through the Type C ports here and the HDMI port, and then this is the DC jack here, and then just run it right bound to the back here, just like this one here. Just pop the fasteners in the back, and then that's good. And once you've actually done that, just close the laptop completely with the screen facing down, and you just lift up the panel and remove it completely. And so don't worry about this. With a lot of models, some models, actually not a lot of models, some models, Dell and other brands, sometimes they actually have wires that are actually taped into the bottom panel. And the last thing you want to end up doing is lifting up the panel without knowing if there's any wires connected. But with this one here, it's not, because I've actually run into a situation myself where I made a big mistake. I actually had to get my board guy to fix it, because the wire was literally hidden right back here, and when I lifted up, I couldn't even see, because it was just done really well. And then when I lifted up, I ended up pulling a whole cable right off the board. So I actually had to get my board guy to basically solder everything back in there. So it can happen to anybody. So I'm just trying to let you guys know with this here, you don't have to worry about it. Just remove the bottom panel and you're good to go. Just place it safely somewhere. And this is what it looks like here. So this is our main point of focus here. And I'm going to show you how to disconnect the battery for your the power plug, the connector for your battery too. Because if you are a little bit worried, you don't want to short anything, but I'll give you my honest opinion when it comes to replacing the hard drive. Even with these 2280 series M.2 SSDs, you don't have to worry about disconnecting the oh shit. Hey, sorry guys. You know what? This is the unedited version, right? So you're gonna see everything the way it happened. This is like the first time it actually happened where I actually had my UPS parcel being delivered kind of early. So it's kind of I don't usually do these videos when I'm expecting delivery, but I guess this guy here is really early. So my apologies for that loss of 30 to 45 seconds. So going back to the battery connector for this model here, if you wanna if you wanna be very cautious and a little bit worried about shorting your board or something, I will show you actually how to disconnect the battery connector on this. So, and just to let you know here, this is a zoomed up picture of this motherboard with a 2280 SSD M.2 is. This is how it looks like here. So if you want to remove it, there's just a simple, one screw there, because once you remove this screw, the hard drive will actually pop on this end here about by 35 to 40 degrees. And all you got to simply do is just remove it and just pull it to the left side. Just remove the M.2 SSD. And if you look at it here, so this is the original part that you can buy to replace it, but you really don't need to. As you can see here, he only actually has a 256 gig hard drive, so it's not very big at all. So going back to disconnecting the battery, the connector for the battery, this is how I'll show you how to do it, and it will be situated here. If you look at it here, this is where the connector, we're going to be focusing next on that. So that's what we're going to do. So as you can see here, there's a piece of tape that's kind of holding it down, which I don't know why they even do that, because it's not like it's going to go anywhere. But just peel that back and just leave it on top of the battery there, just like this. And then as you can see here, there's no special levers. Sometimes with battery connectors, sometimes there's special, aluminum release latches are usually on the top left and the top right. Sometimes there's a full black one that you have to slide upwards. This one here, it's not. Your main focus point of removing the connector here is on the left side and the right side. All you got to use is just make it simple here, because I couldn't show you with both of my hands because I had to take a picture to show you guys. This is what you want to do, right? But use both of your index fingers, your left and your right hand, and just wiggle them out at the same time. Wiggle left, right, and then within 2 or 3 attempts, the whole connector will come right off, just like this. So then you have it fully disconnected where there's no power to the board. And if you want to fully drain it, you can actually hold the power button for about 35 seconds and you are good to go. I kind of did this just to show you guys, just in case if you guys want to know how to do it. I didn't do it originally when I was replacing the hard drive, but I kind of just did the extra steps just to show you that if you wanted to disconnect the battery, then you can do it that way. I really hope that this helps you guys. If you guys have any questions, just please, write them down in the comments, subscribe and like the video. And, thanks for watching, guys. Have a good day. Cheers.